Good afternoon. I'm First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin on this what is going to end up being stormy Friday afternoon and early evening across central Maryland. Again, I'm First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin. We've been doing hourly cut-ins, break-ins, and really just discussions about the weather setup going to the afternoon and this evening. A First Alert weather team will continue to keep you updated as storms move in, as that risk of severe weather increases. This is new. We showed you last hour that the Storm Prediction Center was watching or monitoring a large portion of the state for an upgrade or an issuance of a severe thunderstorm watch, and sure enough, that severe thunderstorm watch is now in effect. All counties shaded in orange. That's in effect until 10 o'clock this evening. Earlier, counties on the eastern shore that were under a severe thunderstorm watch until 5 p.m. That watch has been canceled early. So Caroline, Kent, Queen Anne's, and Talbot counties no longer under a severe thunderstorm watch. However, just because the watch right now is to the west of the Chesapeake doesn't mean it won't be expanded back into your neighborhood, back into your neck of the woods as we get deeper into the evening hours as storms really develop and then move in. Now, we're still in a relatively quiet period of weather, switching back over to First Alert radar right now. And that quiet period may last for another hour, hour and a half or so. We have a few showers around, maybe a rumble or two of thunder, but I think it's really 4 p.m. Out western part of the state. But back closer into Baltimore, it may take till 5 p.m. before we really start to see that weather go downhill. Let's start closer into the city first. We're not completely dry inside the county. A new shower popping up inside the Beltway. Not detecting any thunder, any lightning with this particular shower. Nonetheless, a brief heavy rain a possibility. Just starting to see that cloud get tall enough to produce some brief heavy rain, probably big old raindrops, just enough to wet the street. It'll only last 5 minutes, but by the time it gets into the Inner Harbor, over to Fells Point, Harbor East, Canton, and then getting back towards Dundalk and coastal Baltimore County, this little downpour could pack a little more muster, maybe thunder, lightning, and possibly some brief heavy rain by that point. Again, I want to track it for you. Into Graceland, 326, that's after a 318 arrival in Canton. Dundalk 330, Inverness 334, Battle Grove 337, Lodge Forest rather 345. Not severe, but we do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect. What we're watching more closely is what's going on to our west. A broken line of showers and thunderstorms. We're going to put this back in a looping fashion here. Has really built quickly into the state of Maryland over the past hour and a half. And briefly, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, which now remains in effect, stopping that so that we get the latest data in. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 3:30, so about another 28 minutes. For portions of Grant and Mineral counties, not in Maryland, but the Maryland counties of Garrett and Allegheny, that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 3:30. Primary issue here is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, not just detected as a possibility by radar, but a wind gust of 60 miles per hour was actually observed near Bridgeport, West Virginia. Of course, that's a little bit higher in elevation. Nonetheless, 60-mile-per-hour winds have actually been measured with this cluster of thunderstorms moving into Garrett County, a part of the state that has been so hard hit by weather this week. Of course, earlier this week, we were tracking widespread flooding in that area. Still have severe thunderstorms ongoing across southern Delaware. Tornado warning still in effect. This is getting into, again, far southern portions of Delaware. We'll cross the state line back into Maryland near Ocean City. Not in our viewing area, but we're keeping an eye on it for you as well. So both ends of the state. Right now, far western Maryland dealing with gusty winds, observed 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then far southern portions, coastal Maryland, they're near Ocean City, dealing with a tornadic supercell thunderstorm. So a lot to talk about as we head deeper into the evening. And now that we've kind of given you the summary of everything that we have going on, what's actually happening outside, let's walk you through the setup. And again, I'm First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin. If you're just tuning in, want to let you know that we're going to continue to chat here for about another 6 or so minutes. We're streaming live on CBS News Baltimore. We will have our newscast at 4 p.m., beginning that newscast with breaking news and the latest First Alert forecast. Risk of showers and thunderstorms will continue to increase as we go into the evening hours. Showers and thunderstorms becoming a bit more widespread with very warm temperatures in the 70s and lower 80s. That only giving more energy for storms to work with. In fact, let's roll our forecast model back. This is what a computer thinks radar will look like through the afternoon. The map I was showing you just a moment ago, that is actual radar. But this is what a computer thinks radar will look like as we go through the rest of the day. And notice it's picking up pretty well on a few of those storms developing near the Pennsylvania state line. Also picking up very well on storms building out of West Virginia and into northern portions of Virginia State. It's this cluster of storms. It's going to basically ride I-70 eastbound into Baltimore, at least parts of the metro, and they're moving into an environment that is warm. It's muggy. We're feeling it here inside the building. You're feeling it outside today. Actually, a heat index for probably the first time this year, feeling like it's in the mid 80s at times with more Florida-like levels of humidity across the state. So these storms moving into an environment that is certainly favorable for not only storms to remain strong, but new strong severe thunderstorms to develop. Here we are 5 p.m. This is when the weather's really going to start to go downhill. BW Parkway, I-95 corridor. So if you have evening commute plans like so many of us do, between 5 and 6 p.m., it's looking like that weather is going to go downhill across the Baltimore metro. Numerous showers and thunderstorms developing. Any one of these could be strong to severe. Main threats today, wind gusts to 70 miles per hour. As mentioned a moment ago already, a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust was measured in far western portions of Maryland, Bridgeport, West Virginia, just before it crossed the state line into Garrett County. So storms have a history of producing gusty winds. We've had numerous tornado warnings in Delaware and in New Jersey. Philadelphia was hit by severe weather this morning. That line of storms just brushing central Maryland and northern Maryland, just giving us a few showers. As we get into 6, 7 p.m., storms basically congealing into a line. And that's going to be a problem for the eastern shore as we get into the 6 and 7 o'clock window. But for the city of Baltimore, remember first pitch tonight, big game, Battle of the Beltway. Nationals taking on the Orioles at Camden Yards. First pitch slated right now for 7:05. And according to some of the latest data, that forecast, our weather condition here in Baltimore will really improve after 6:30 so that by 7:30, you can see rain is all over on the eastern shore, and that risk of lightning, will really impact the game. That risk will start to slide east of the Chesapeake Bay by 7 p.m. first pitch, and then we're back to better weather through the duration of the ball game, but it is possible late this evening, 11 midnight, 1, 2 a.m., we're going to see another little ripple of energy in the atmosphere approach Maryland, possibly some new showers and thunderstorms popping up. We'll say two things going for us as far as a lower risk of severe weather overnight tonight while we're sleeping. We will have already had storms using up energy in the atmosphere. And just because of the time of day being after sunset, it'll be cooler, the atmosphere more stable. Those clouds will have a tougher time growing tall enough to produce, hailstones and for thunderstorms to become severe. Nonetheless, a little bit more rain around late tonight into Saturday morning, possibly lingering as late as 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then by, Preakness time, as we get into the heart of the morning, 9, 10 a.m., horses getting ready, things getting on, we're going to see that forecast dry back out. In fact, we have dropped that alert day possible for Saturday. Today still is a first alert weather day. Round of storms in the forecast as we get into really, unfortunately, timing-wise, the heart of the evening rush. So reason for the first alert weather day. Today's a day that has weather that could be not only impactful to your day, have you adjusting the routine, throwing off some of those evening plans, but also a day that could have a dangerous thunderstorm or two moving through the state of Maryland. So a day where you will need to pay a little closer attention to the first alert forecast. Wind, still the biggest threat. Some wind gusts 60 to 70 miles an hour, and that's enough to bring down trees, power lines, branches, cause power issues, at least spotty power outages. Second to that, hail, possibly big hail, bigger than quarters even, maybe $50 sized hail. Maybe, a few thunderstorms could produce golf ball sized hail. Heavy rain, it will be torrential as storms move through, but they're going to be moving very, very quick. So significant flooding, not expected, but brief ponding, brief street flooding, curb to curb, sort of water in the road. That's a possibility under our heaviest downpours. And again, that could occur during the evening rush. So just want to drive home the point that it's been a pretty quiet day so far, though so busy. Just to our north and northeast, Philadelphia can speak, Jersey can speak, Delaware can speak to how bad the weather has been and what the setup can produce. Now it is our turn in central Maryland to at least have the chance of seeing some severe weather. It's a fine window to watch. About now, through about 6, 7 o'clock this evening, and then we're going to see things, quiet down, and it won't storm that entire 48-hour period at your house, but storms will be moving through our area during that 4-hour window. Again, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. Want to remind you, you can always reach out on social media, on Facebook, on X, on Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky. We're here to keep you updated, and the entire team will be doing just that. A reminder, WJZ News at 4, starting here in less than an hour. Team coverage for First Alert Chief Meteorologist Derek Beasley. You can grab our coverage, WJZ Live, streaming here and on the go in the CBS News app.